For the record, I decided the topics and the questions in each topic. None of those questions has been shared with the commission or the two candidates. The audience here in the hall has promised to remain silent. No cheers, boos, or other interruptions so we and you can focus on what the candidates have to say. No noise except right now, as we welcome the Democratic nominee for president, Secretary Clinton, and the Republican nominee for president, Mr. Trump.
This just in, everybody. The two bearded preachers are covering the debate tonight. That's right, folks. Your two favorite facially blessed individuals will be listening to the debate and talking at the same time. We'll see how this works because I get distracted very easily.
I think that we might not talk all night about what's going on in the debate. I think we might have couple of asides, maybe?
Uh-huh.
Talk about this over here, that over there a little bit.
Yeah.
Because Did you watch the last debate?
I watched some of it.
The last debate, I sat up and watched the whole thing because I was even on vacation. I was on vacation, I put that thing on, started watching it. It's just like, dude, this is absolute insanity. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And why is Hillary Clinton dressed up like Tilda Swinton from the Doctor Strange previews? Look at her. She's wearing the same thing.
She is.
Maybe it's because Doctor Strange is going to be a sweet movie. She want to, make sure she's identifying with it.
She's like trying to get in on. She's identifying with it already, and she's just trying to. She's like, oh, I'm really cool. Think that's what she's doing?
Maybe. I mean, I'm more interested in what she has to say already, just from that. So how are you watching the debate?
Okay, I am watching on Facebook.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Chris, and thanks to UNLV for hosting us.
I like the Facebook. Like, there's just a regular Facebook one where. Oh, they're going hot now. It's our. Oh, you know what? I like Facebook. This is how I watch it. I watch it Facebook because everybody like likes or hates, and they put the little emojis that go with it. And there are a lot of unhappy faces right now. Lots of
really? Just from her coming up, there's unhappy faces.
Yeah. There's one smiley face, a couple thumbs up, anger, thumbs up, anger, thumbs up, anger. Thumbs up, anger. Crying. Someone's crying. Thumbs up, anger. Thumb. Anger. So, from what I can tell right now, it looks like she's lost the election.
Oh, man, just like that.
Just based off what I saw a heart. But then again, we have to wait to see what the emojis are for Trump when he starts talking.
It's probably just going to be the poop.
Poop emoji. I don't think they have that one in the Facebook thing.
Did they lose the poop?
Tragic. Yeah, but they also on the Facebook one, they I like it because like they have like all the comments. People are posting comments.
Yeah,
and like someone just posted like, "Is there a double Jeopardy round?" I like that. Oh, someone just said that's an Ellen DeGeneres outfit. That's what someone just said.
Yeah,
it is. She's right. Ellen DeGeneres, curb stomp Hillary.
Whoa.
What is America? God bless the Supreme Court. What?
The great tradition of standing up to the power.
This is great. Someone said, "God bless the Supreme Court," and then someone goes, "We have a Supreme Court."
And having that opportunity, I would hope the Senate would do its job.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry about all that.
Yeah,
that guy's going to vote.
Yeah.
That's the way the
There's going to be people who are not paying attention to what's going on, and their vote counts just as much as yours.
So someone just said, "Thank you, Bernie." Like, sarcastic. Thank you, Bernie.
This is why we can't have nice things, because Bernie can't stick it out through a nasty election cycle.
Yeah.
Bernie's garbage. I was talking to Miss Ann today, and we were talking about the election or whatever, and I was commenting on the incredible amount of corruption that Hillary Clinton has had in doing Bernie dirty, and that anybody can look this up and read all the emails about about it. And she's like, I can't even believe it. Just exhales and shakes her head. She's so funny.
Dude, it's great. The guy asked, the question that was asked was, how are you going to uphold, how are you going to help with the Supreme Court uphold the Constitution and everything like that? And Trump's first thing goes, well, the Supreme Court, that's where it's all at.
That's where it's at.
That's where it's all at. And I'm just like, Trump's got a lot of unhappy faces.
Oh no.
Cries, thumb up, unhappy on it. But here's the thing. Facebook is predominantly younger, I would say.
Yeah.
I think younger people are more, some are, maybe more liberal and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah, they're more, well, they're dumber. And dumber people are generally lean to being a little more liberal.
This just in, one of the two bearded preachers is called young people dumb.
Yeah.
Signing off.
And liberals too.
And liberals are dumb as well. Both of them are highly, widely uneducated, and they need to go back to school.
They just
reporting the other bearded preacher.
That's right. I'm glad that the other bearded preacher is bringing all that out.
Yeah,
it's
I'm
a
gonna
good
do like
thing that you're bringing everything to light. It's time we get it all out there in the open.
I feel like it's a public service announcement. 10 minutes for open discussion? What? This could just take forever.
This is a 90-minute thing.
Well, we're not going to do this, though. Are we going to sit here doing the whole time?
No. We're not going to pay attention to the whole thing. That'd be crazy. I mean, there's a new episode of American Horror Story on at the same time, so we got to record that and then go back and watch without the commercials.
All
right, hold on. Somebody just made a comment about guns. Okay, someone said, the founders didn't know that assault rifles would exist.
I'm pretty sure they knew that they would. I mean, it's just the natural progression of stuff.
I mean, yeah.
Better stuff over time.
They had better stuff than what they used to have. They might not have known that it would have been exactly that, but they had to know bullets would start flying faster sooner or later.
Yeah. They probably knew that they would become more accurate, that there'd be better defensive measures, then you improve the ammo so it breaks through the defensive measure. I mean, all this stuff is... Guess what, Justin? There's going to be better assault rifles in the future.
I can't wait. I know, I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
I'm just sitting here saving up my quarters so that when it finally hits, I can drop $2 or $3 grand on it. Get it.
Yeah. I'm getting a new gun for my birthday.
Oh, yeah?
The District of Columbia was trying to do.
Oh, you're going to get a shot.
Yeah, for some clays and some hunting. I'm excited. So,
that's cool.
And I'm going to get it before the election, just in case.
Didn't accept that reason.
Well, I don't have to get it really before the election.
Yeah.
I got to get it before January.
Defending the Second Amendment.
Well,
sworn in,
Your birthday's in like November, right?
Yes, I'm good.
Yeah, you're good.
I'm good.
No problem.
And this was, in fact, one of the top questions that they got. How will you ensure the Second Amendment is protected? You just heard Secretary Clinton's answer.
Here's a good question.
Does she persuade you that while you may
how are you going to ensure the Second Amendment is protected?
Second Amendment right to bear arms?
Well,
very good question. I'd like to hear what he says here.
Was very strongly, and she was extremely angry about it. I watched. I mean, she was very, very angry when upheld, and Justice Scalia was so involved, and it was a
I will say this
decision,
is that they are much
extremely angry.
These two
people that believe in the Second Amendment and
okay, because I went back and watched the Vice President debate.
Yeah,
man, those guys, that dude, what's his name, Kane, man, that guy won't stop interrupting. He is horrible, man.
Injure themselves, even kill people with guns, because unfortunately, not everyone who.
I heard Pence just raked him over the coals, and I was like, I don't need to bother with this.
But there's no doubt that I respect the Second Amendment, that I also believe there's an individual right to bear arms. That is not in conflict with sensible.
Did she just say she respected the Second Amendment?
And look,
is that what she said?
I understand that Donald's been strongly supported by the NRA. The gun lobby's on his side. They're running millions of dollars of ads
she
against
doesn't
me.
Respect the Second Amendment.
She doesn't. She said that.
But then is for people to come together and say, of course, we're going to protect and defend the Second Amendment. But we're going to do it in a way that tries to save some of these 33,000 lives that we lose every year.
Let me bring Mr. Trump back into this because, in fact, you oppose any limits.
I just don't buy the premise that restricting gun ownership results in fewer deaths. Because if I don't have my gun, I'm just going to hit you in the head with a hammer.
It's just going to be messier.
Yeah.
And a little bit more
therapeutic for me.
I don't know. I was going to say damaging. Like, you're going to have to see a therapist for a long time if you got to take somebody out with a hammer.
I am a very strong supporter of the Second Amendment, and I don't know if Hillary was saying it in a sarcastic manner, but I'm very proud to have the endorsement of the NRA, and it's the earliest endorsement they've ever given to anybody.
I also don't buy that Trump is a big supporter of the Second Amendment. My guess would be that he doesn't really care about it at all, but he knows that's the thing that he has to say in order to keep, rednecks like you happy. Know what I mean?
Well, let's pick up on another.
I mean, no one in the gun club is going to vote for him if he doesn't come across as being like big on the Second Amendment.
He just said he's going to support justices that will uphold the constitutional rights of the Second Amendment. Is that what he just said?
Yeah.
Well, of course, that's what he needs to say, and that's the right answer for a Republican to say.
But is he actually going to do it?
Well, if he doesn't, don't we get to impeach him?
I don't think you can impeach him just for lying.
I actually think you can.
I mean, you can, but it don't do nothing. That they impeached Clinton for lying, but it didn't do anything.
Do you want to see the court?
He was, Clinton was impeached.
Yes, he was impeached.
But he still got to keep doing whatever he wanted to do, right?
Yeah. So that's pretty much like telling your kids, don't do that. Don't do that, or else you're going to get a whooping next time.
Yeah.
The next time never comes.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you got to whoop them right then. Don't wait, just whoop.
So, all right, what I was going to say is, like, just listening right now and watching this debate, they are much more civil than the vice presidential debate and the last debate too, because
the last debate was a madhouse. It was absolute insanity.
Yeah, they've toned down so far. We'll see if they kick it up a notch and start going after each other pretty soon. They might. But this is really tame so far.
I know. This is turning out to be a terrible idea, Justin. Terrible idea. It's not nearly as funny as
somebody needs to like throw a shoe at the other person or something like that to really take this up a level.
I'd like to see one of them knock over their podium and do it up like Jerry Springer. I was waiting for it to happen in the last debate because it was such a train wreck. It was
wasn't that the debate where they didn't have the podiums? They just walked around with a microphone.
Yeah.
That was so stupid.
Trump was prowling around like a jungle cat.
Yeah.
Did you see the SNL thing where they were making fun of him?
No, I didn't.
They were playing like Jaws music in the background, and he's just sort of like coming up behind them real slow, and then zoom goes right by her real fast.
Nice.
I started DVRing SNL.
She just said something about abortion.
You also voted against a ban on late-term partial birth abortions. Why?
Because Roe v. Wade very clearly sets out.
Did you hear that?
That there can be regulations on abortion so long as the life and the health of the mother are taken into account. And when I voted as a senator, I did not think that was the case. The kinds of cases that fall at the end of pregnancy are often the most heartbreaking, painful decisions for families to make. I have met with women who, toward the end of their pregnancy, get the worst news one could get, that their health is in jeopardy if they continue to carry to term, or that something terrible has happened or just been discovered about the pregnancy. I do not think the United States government should be stepping in and making those most personal of decisions. So you can regulate if you are doing so with the life and the health of the mother taken into account.
Mr. Trump, your reaction, and particularly on this issue of late-term partial birth.
Well, I think it's terrible if you go with what Hillary is saying in
She's
the
a
ninth
monster,
month,
bro.
you can
She's a
take the
monster.
baby and rip the baby out of the womb of the mother just prior to the birth of the baby. Now, you can say that that's okay, and Hillary can say that that's okay, but it's not okay with me. Because based on what she's saying and based on where she's going and where she's been, you can take the baby and rip the baby out of the womb in the 9th month on the final day. And that's not acceptable.
Well, that is not what happens in these cases. And using that kind of
That's the best thing Donald Trump has probably
unfortunate.
ever
You
said.
should meet with some of the women that I've met with, women I've known over the course of my life. This is one of the worst possible choices that any woman and her family has to make. And I do not believe the government should be making it. I've had the great honor of traveling across the world on behalf of our country.
It's the worst possible choice that any woman would ever have.
But either forced women to have abortions like they used to do in China, or forced women to bear children like they used to do in Romania. And I can tell you, the government has no business.
I just don't get it.
First of all, what she's like arguing right now is like because of health issues and health reasons. But the thing is that the majority of those abortions are not because of those reasons.
Oh, I know it. I know.
You know, and that's what the issue is. The issue is it's for those reasons. You know, it's not for health reasons. It's for I messed up. I shouldn't have had sex, and so I don't want to do this. You know, and yeah.
Mr. Trump, you want to build a wall?
Here comes the biggie.
I think Trump had the right answer on abortion. He had the right answer, but I'm not sure that I believe a word that comes out of his mouth.
Okay. Here's the interesting thing. Like the guy that I was listening to speak last night, he said, I don't know if I can trust Trump.
Mr. Trump, you go first in this segment. You have 2 minutes.
So I don't know if I don't know if I can trust Trump. He goes, but on the other hand, I absolutely am positive that I cannot trust Hillary at all. That's what he said.
Right.
You know, and
you can trust her to do the most wicked thing imaginable.
You can trust her to do horrible stuff, you know. But he's like, I don't know if I trust him at all. You know, he goes, but you know, at the same time, I know for a fact, and I've seen fact of her lying, you know, under oath and everything, you know, and she has. This is rough. That's the thing. You say, I don't know if I believe him. I don't know if I believe him either.
The border secure, as you know, the Border Patrol agents, 16,500 plus ICE last week endorsed me. First time they've ever endorsed me.
This is the other thing the guy said last night. He goes, you know, we're voting on basically, you know, certain things, you know, like the abortion. We're voting on basically the Second Amendment, all right, immigration, healthcare, you know, belief in all that. And at the same time, he goes, but understand that when it comes said and done, like these two individuals that are running for president are so extreme. Like Donald Trump is just so extreme. Hillary Clinton is so extreme. They're both just so far out there. He goes, honestly, what you need to look at is not so much them, but look as their running mates, because they'll be the ones that are running the country. You know, because
that is a little like make you feel a little better about Donald Trump, because I don't buy that he's gonna be doing a whole lot of stuff. Well, he's gonna be bored with it.
And I'm gonna say this was a quote. I can't remember the professor's name. I need to like get his name and actually quote him correctly. But he basically said, or maybe I shouldn't quote him, so I don't want to get him in trouble.
Do you want to tell everybody that you listened to a professor give a talk or something like that? Because we already talked about it. Nobody else knows what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Like,
I listened to a talk last night. It was a very good talk and everything. And one of the things he said is, he goes, listen, he goes, if you haven't, go back and watch the vice presidential debate. And I did. It was very good. And Pence did just destroy Kane.
They work
Destroyed
hard. They do everything they can to give her a good life.
He goes, look at that right there. He goes, because those are the two. Either one of those two are going to be running the country. Because within the first, he goes, in the first term, neither one of these two are going to make it. Either going to be, something's going to happen to him physically, or they will be impeached. You know, and so.
Well, she hasn't been in very good health, has she?
No, she hasn't. She's very frail and fragile and weak and decrepit.
She's like the Crypt Keeper.
I was gonna say that. She kind of looks like the Crypt Keeper, dressed up like Ellen DeGeneres. Is that wrong? Is that bad?
That sounds like the kind of comment that Trump would make.
Does.
Being derogatory towards her looks.
Oh, she's talking about law enforcement.
Buses to get them out of our country. I think that is an idea that is not in keeping with who we are as a nation. I think it's an idea that would rip our country apart. I have been for border security.
That's
for years.
wildly untrue because some of them we have to put on boats and planes.
And my
That's right.
immigration
I mean, you can't put somebody on a bus back to like
but I want to put our
Australia.
Can't do that. Italy. You can't do that.
I mean, get that. I mean, you could, but they would all.
I mean, she's basically just talking about Canadians and Mexicans. Is what she's talking about.
Yeah. Well, we should deport all the Canadians. That's obvious.
We had a meeting with the Mexican
I mean,
president.
you can't trust the Canadian.
And then got
you
into
can't
a Twitter war
socialize
because the
medicine,
Mexican said,
please.
We're not paying for that.
Oh, well, kind of like us.
Not yet, but give it time.
It's almost there.
And that we can
Maybe it's because I've always had insurance that I don't buy the whole people need insurance thing. Like, I don't recall a time when I've been without insurance.
I think it's
so.
Always like 21.
Yeah. And when I'm 21, I was invincible. I mean, nothing could stop me.
I could jump off roofs, and I could like, you know, hurdle. I could like jump over a fence in a single hurdle.
Yeah.
I could just drop down anywhere and do 100 push-ups. I could run. I could run in circles for hours.
I could do a 440 in 440. Done.
What? Yeah,
I don't know anything
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying numbers and stuff.
And by the way, no, wait, I'd like to hear from.
Is illegal immigration even a issue that you're concerned about at all?
And there are some limited places.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I am that much. I'm like a really, I'm a kind of guy that, you know, I like everybody. I'm not like, you know, I don't, you know, because I do feel like sometimes the illegal immigration stuff. Well, first of all, if they're in the country illegally, they should leave. They should need to go through a process.
Some kind of something.
I mean, I know there's a process, but that's the thing. How do we deal with immigrants? We have a process. How do we deal with illegal immigrants? Well, it's illegal to do it. You have to uphold the law. You know, I mean, I think it's this is what I'm kind of thinking about more is that the more like we just kind of like we bypass certain laws and everything like that. You know, you bypass one law, it's going to be easier to bypass another law and another law and another law, and it just keeps going. You know, that was like the whole example of the extended voter registration. You know, it should never have happened here down in Florida. It was not that.
Is that? What are you talking about? I don't know what that is.
As far as moving these people out,
the voter registration, like, ended on a certain day, but a federal judge deemed or ruled in favor of extending it, and he extended it for an entire week, but he had no grounds to legally do that.
We're going to speed up the process.
Just does what he wants, huh?
Yes. And that was like, there's no grounds for him to legally do that because it's not, if there was something set up in Florida, like Florida says, you know, all right, if they made a law that said, you know, in case of natural disaster or extenuating circumstances, voter registration will be extended for so many days. He can then rule based on that if it was bad enough. So he would look and say, okay, was it bad enough for us to extend it? Then yeah, okay, we can do this, okay? But since there is nothing, he can't just make up something. He can't go, well, we'll just do it. If there's no precedent said, then it's actually unconstitutional for him to do that. And so that's one of the points, is that if a federal judge can do something like that, what's to stop anybody else, higher up with more power from doing something else?
Yeah. The daggone judiciary done lost its mind.
The judiciary? What is he doing? Judiciary?
That's the question. Please quiet.
Craziness.
Craziness.
Well, that's pretty interesting, huh? You didn't know that. I learned that last night.
I was talking about.
Yeah. Watching your lecture, right?
Yeah, it was an hour and 45-minute lecture. I haven't been in a lecture that long, and I loved it. I was there. I didn't I went up to him, talked to him afterwards. I'm like, very fantastic job, sir.
Was this through the gun club?
Yeah.
It was?
Mm-hmm. That's the best speaker they've had the entire time. I'm looking it up right now. I'm going to look him up right now.
The gun clubs we have are usually like a couple of guys who have some acreage. And they just shoot deer. That's the club.
Well, that's not bad.
No, it's not bad at all. I've been thinking about maybe getting in on some of that.
Political Science, Valencia College, Mark Logas. So, yeah. Good. Very good.
Did you guys record it?
I don't think so. The people at the gun club are really old, and they don't do real well with technology.
Yeah.
And so, that's just not going to happen. Sometimes they have a hard time with PowerPoint. So, me too. They have a hard time with projecting like a video up on a screen and getting the sound right. It's so funny for me. Like every time it happens,
don't help them. You just sit back and watch.
I always go like this. Whenever I see it happen, I'm like, oh. I like nudge whoever's sitting next to me. I go, this is my favorite part. He can never get it right. And they just are like, seriously? So, someone just said that Hillary's making their ears bleed.
Wait. Hold on, folks.
Welcome to intermission. Yeah, intermission.
This is going to end up getting out of control.
I wasn't paying attention. I was listening to you. I'm not doing a very good job.
We missed something huge.
Watching did Donald say that?
Oh.
People are going to come in from Syria. She wants 550% more people than Barack Obama, and he has thousands and thousands of people. They have no idea where they come from.
Laughing at him.
You see, we are going to stop radical Islamic terrorism in this country. She won't even mention the words, and neither will President Obama. So I just want to tell you, she wants open borders. Now we can talk about Putin. I don't know Putin.
Why doesn't she just say it right now?
If we got along well,
radical
that would
Islam
be good.
terrorism.
If Russia and the United States got along well and went after ISIS, that would be good. He has no respect for her. He has no respect for our president. And I'll tell you what, we're in very serious trouble because we have a country with tremendous numbers of nuclear warheads.
That's it. Well, because she's a woman, Putin doesn't like women.
Where they expanded and
that's a thing.
1,800.
He's not wrong on that one.
And she's playing chicken.
Mm-hmm.
It's a cultural thing.
Now, if you want to talk about male chauvinists and everything,
yeah,
Putin.
Yeah, Putin's a male chauvinist.
That dude,
too busy wrestling bears. He's in the He-Man Woman Haters Club.
It's pretty clear you won't admit that the Russians have engaged in cyber attacks against the United States of America, that you encouraged espionage.
Dude, now it's getting good. So we missed something. Like the crowd started to get ruckus. They start getting a little ruckus, a little rowdy, and the guy had to turn around and tell everybody to calm down. We just missed that.
Well, that's because we would have been, ruckusing and whatnot, getting scolded by the guy.
Yeah.
So I think that this is such an unprecedented situation. We've never had a foreign government.
Have you been paying attention to that? Like the idea that Putin wants Trump to be the president? Do you think that's
true?
Really?
I don't know. I haven't paid attention to that. You think? Well, for me, it makes sense. like I said, Putin doesn't like women.
These cyber
Yeah.
attacks come from
It's
the
just a
highest
thing.
levels
I think
of
it's
the
a Russia
Kremlin,
thing.
And they are
You think we're going to war with Russia?
influence our
No.
elections. I find that
Well, I don't know. If Hillary becomes president, maybe. It's really going to suck, too, because she's going to take away all of our guns. What are we going to do? Dude, it's like Red
The
Dawn
army
all
doesn't
over
work
again.
like that. You don't have to bring your own gun with you.
Wasn't it Russia
They give
in
you
Red
one.
Dawn?
Yeah, it was Russia and Red Dawn. It was Russia and Mexico. So, I mean, it could go either way.
Intelligence professionals who are
Yeah.
sworn
Trump becomes
to
president,
protect
war with
us. I
Mexico.
find that just
Hillary
absolutely
becomes president,
right.
war with Russia. Frankly, I'd rather fight the Mexicans, but that's just me.
Mr. Trump,
Excuse me.
And well, at least we'll have guns.
We'll have guns, yeah.
In Syria,
The
I
tr-
do get to ask some questions.
Yes,
And I would like to ask you this direct question.
Oh,
The top national security officials of this country do believe that Russia has been behind
that
these
guy said he
attacks.
gets to ask some questions.
Even if you don't know for sure whether they are, do you condemn
dude.
any interference?
I would
of
like
Russia in the
to be
American
the moderator of this. I would have so much fun.
You condemn their
You need to shut your
of course
face.
I condemn. Of course I can.
Do I need to come up there and choke you out, old lady?
I'm asking
Old man, I'll drop you in a
This
heartbeat.
is not my best friend.
You think just because you're a 70-year-old woman that I won't choke you? I'll get you
I'll be,
to
like, listen, you and I
choke you right
You
out.
and I be the moder. If you and I were the moderators, we'd be like sitting there and everything, and they start getting out of hand like this. I'd be like, Martin, you take care of Trump, and I'll take care of Hillary. All right,
Russians have said
take care of my light work over there.
They're both so decrepit. Who would put up a better fight?
Let's just
Like,
be honest with ourselves. Hillary would put up a better fight. Come on,
You think so? Even though she's been sick and stuff?
evil. I think she's got. I think she might have the devil in her.
The devil,
They've
man.
taken over the Middle East. She has
Maybe.
been outsmarted and outplayed worse than anybody I've ever seen in any government whatsoever.
We're a long way away from immigration, but I'm going to let you finish this topic.
Well,
You got about 45 seconds.
Yeah,
And she always
We're talking about immigration, and now all of a sudden they're supposed to be talking about immigration, and they're talking about this whole big ordeal of the Middle East. It's got nothing to do with immigration. I got the solution to immigration. Real simple.
Korea, even Saudi Arabia. He said, well,
You
if we
do
have
you
them,
do
why
open
don't
up
we
the
use
borders.
them, which I
You
think
open up the
is,
borders, but you have a
terrifying.
national
But here's the deal.
sales
The
tax
bottom line on nuclear
instead of
weapons
an
is
income
that
tax.
when the
National
president
sales
gives
tax.
the order,
That
it
way,
must
if you
be
come into the
followed.
country,
There's about
big
4
deal.
minutes
We,
between
the
order
government's,
being given
you're going to fund the
and
government either
the
way
people
because it's not an income
responsible
tax;
for
it's a
launching
national
nuclear
sales
weapons
tax.
to do so.
Yeah.
And that's
I-
why
that's what I
You just
like.
want to
They
get
just
rid of
have-
income tax?
Oh man, I love the national
they
sales
would not
tax.
trust Donald Trump with
I
the
think he's getting
nuclear
rid of-
codes
It's
that
called a
have
fair
his
tax.
finger on the
I
nuclear
think it's
button.
great because then you
I need to look into
incentivize
that.
people to save money.
21
So
endorsing
you're encouraging people to save money because if I don't spend any money, guess what? I'm not getting taxed.
As far as Japan,
So you
and other
incentivize people
countries,
saving money,
we are being
and the
ripped
government
off
still
by
gets
everybody under a roof of
supported
every
because
other
people are going to
countries.
buy
We are
stuff either way.
spending a fortune doing it.
And the
We
rich
have
people end up
argued this
paying
century.
more in
All I said
taxes
is
because rich
we
people
have to
buy more
renegotiate
expensive
these
stuff.
agreements 'cause our country cannot afford
They do.
I like it.
defend Saudi
It's a good
Arabia,
idea.
Japan,
You know what?
Germany,
There was
South
something
Korea,
said
and other
earlier,
places. We
and
cannot
I was going to
continue
ask you a
to
question.
She
He
took
made a
that as
comment
saying
about the
nuclear
millions
weapons.
of dollars that Trump has spent in ads.
She's been proven to be a liar on so many
How many
different
ads
ways.
have you
This is
seen of
just
Trump's
another lie.
in the last
Well,
3
I'm
months?
just quoting you.
I haven't seen. I don't think I've seen one. I don't think
Okay.
I've seen a single one. Now I live in Georgia, which is going to go for Trump almost
competition in
inevitably.
Asia, you said
So,
I have
I don't-
I have seen one.
One
that kind
in Florida.
One.
You should be seeing them all the time. What is wrong
But
with
it-
that?
I didn't say nuclear.
Florida swings.
United States
I
has
think what
kept
it
the
is
peace
that
through our
I mean I
alliances.
see her
Donald
ads
wants to tear up our alliances.
constantly.
I think it makes the
Yeah.
world
Constantly.
safer, and frankly,
All
it
the
makes
time.
the United States safer.
So-
I would work with our allies in Asia,
But very rarely
in
do I see a
Europe,
Trump.
in
I've
the
seen
Middle
one.
East, and elsewhere.
I've
That's
seen
the
one
only way
ad
we're going
2
to
times in
get
the
it.
last 2 days.
We are going to move
That's it
on
though.
to the next
Really?
topic,
Yeah.
He just
which
this
is
week
the economy, and I
he
hope
is the
handle
first
that
week
as
where
well
he
as we
spent
did
more
immigration.
money on advertising than Hillary.
You also
Like
Yeah.
for the whole for the
She's
entire
been-
campaign.
She's been
First
spending a
time.
lot. She's been spending a lot.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, just from what I've seen, she's spent a lot.
You see more government spending, more entitlements, more tax credits, more tax penalties. Mr. Trump, you want to get government out with lower taxes and less regulation.
Yes.
We're going to drill down into this a little bit more, but in this overview, please explain to me why you believe that your plan will create more jobs and growth for this country and your opponent's plan will not. In this round, you go first, Secretary Clinton.
Well, I think when the middle class thrives, America thrives. And so my plan is based on growing the economy.
I was going to tell you
giving
this.
middle-class families
I heard some statistics last night
I want us to have the
and
biggest
how
jobs
Obama,
program
because they're
since
talking
World War
about
II,
jobs and how they're going to create jobs and everything.
Advanced manufacturing. I think we can compete
basically,
with high-wage countries, and I believe we should. New jobs and clean
he
energy.
said,
Not
Obama
only
has
to fight
said
climate change, which is a serious problem, but to
it is
create
the worst
new
that they have ever
opportunities and
seen,
new businesses.
that we have ever
I
seen
want us to do
in
more
our
to
country.
help small business. That's where
Like
the
jobs
job
are
and
going
the
to come
employment
from.
environment.
Employment environment, the
national
value,
minimum
how much a
wage
dollar
because
is worth, and
people
everything
who
like
live in
that,
poverty should
and
not, who work full time should not
it,
still be
actually
in
it's
poverty,
not
and I
like
sure do
like
want to
he's
make sure
like
women
all
and
you got to
people
do is
pay
go
for the
back
work we
and
do.
look at other presidents,
I
and
feel
the
strongly
worst
that we
one
have to have
ever
an education
was when
system
Reagan
that
took
starts with
office.
preschool
All
and
right,
goes through college.
like
That's
it was
why I want more
8%
technical
unemployment or something
education
like
in high
that,
schools
compared to
and
what
in
we have is
community
6%.
colleges, real apprenticeships
And
to
then
prepare
it was like
young people
like
for
the
jobs of
like
the
how
future.
much like I guess it was not the value of a dollar, but inflation, cost of inflation, interest rate. It was like we were at 12% in inflation of the dollar, and Reagan was in, it was like 20% or something like that. And you're just sitting back going, really? I mean, it was really kind of, that was very telling to me too. Like we're saying, oh, it's the worst. That's the one thing they always like. It's the worst.
Bad things about Ronald Reagan?
No, what I'm saying, because everybody loves Reagan. What I'm saying is that when he took office, our country was in worse shape then than it is.
Oh yeah, because
now.
Jimmy Carter was a train wreck.
He was horrible. That guy was so dumb.
I like him though. He's from Georgia.
Yeah.
3.5
million jobs. Why? Because his whole plan is to cut taxes, to give the biggest tax breaks ever to the wealthy and to corporations, adding $20 trillion.
Hillary Clinton can't say anything, Donald Trump, about job creation.
That we have seen before,
she can't say a thing to him because she's never created a job in her entire life. And Donald Trump has created, whether you like his business practices or not, he's created thousands of jobs over the course of his life, in the course of his career. She can't say anything to him. Why would she even try? She just sit back and say, you know what? I've been sucking off the government, whatever the entire time. Yeah, you know.
No, I don't. Can you?
You don't? The government memory.
Huh? Oh, okay. I got you.
Like a child.
We will have a massive tax increase under Hillary Clinton's plan.
Oh.
But I'd like to start off where we left. Because when I said Japan and Germany, and I'm not to single them out, but South Korea, these are very rich, powerful countries. Saudi Arabia, nothing but money.
None of the stuff that Trump's saying right now is surprising. Of course she's going to raise taxes. She's a Democrat. Democrats raise taxes. And of course Donald Trump will try and create fewer taxes for the rich. He's running as a Republican. And that's what they do. I mean, come on.
We're protecting people. They have to pay up. And I'm a big fan of NATO. But they have to pay
do you think like if Trump wins, because like like you just said, he's created thousands upon thousands of jobs. You think if Trump wins, he's just going to hire like all the unemployed people for the government?
Yeah, he's just going to hire them.
Yeah, he's just going to hire everybody. He's going to hire the whole country.
He's going to hire us all.
Yeah. I want to go get me a government job.
You can get
might
one.
as well. I probably could. I probably could, dude.
Government job's not hard to get.
Yeah, but you think he's just going to hire everybody? That would be funny.
Can you pass your analysis?
He's like the Oprah, the presidential Oprah. And you get a job. And you get a job. And you get a job.
One of the worst deals ever. Our jobs are being
Nice.
sucked out of our
Nice.
country. You look at all of the places that I just left. You go to Pennsylvania. You go to Ohio. You go to Florida, you go to any of them. You go upstate New York. Our jobs have fled to Mexico and other places. We're bringing our jobs back. I am going to renegotiate NAFTA.
Is Florida kind of rough with jobs right now?
Sometimes. It depends. Like, the way I kind of feel like right now is like if you want a job, you'll get a job. But sometimes you gotta take the job you don't want in order to get the job you want. So
I hear you.
They're going to start hiring people.
You might not get like a super high paying job, but you can get something.
Well, that's the only kind of job that I'm interested in. Super high paying. Mad cash.
My
Benefits.
youth minister, part-time guy, so he's got to work another job.
Yeah.
And literally, he has like a job. Like he was, hey, I'm gonna go get a second. When he told me he's gonna get a second job, I said, okay. He went in. He got one the next day, literally. And then he's like, then like the other day, he's like, hey, I got a third job now. He goes, I'm gonna quit the second job and I'm gonna keep the third job. I said, oh, okay. So, but dude, he gets it like that. He gets jobs like that, and I'm just like, man, it's all about who you know, and go for it.
Well,
there's definitely a sense of that.
We know how to get control of the debt. When my husband was president, we went from a $300 billion deficit to a $200 billion surplus, and we were actually on the path to eliminating the national debt.
You think he's going to add $20 trillion to debt? How's he going to do that? Just like ordering like bottles of Cristal for everybody?
So yes, one of the ways you
all Republicans have voted for me get a bottle of Cristal.
Jobs is by investing in people. So I do have investments in new jobs, investments in education, skill training, and the opportunities for people to get ahead and stay ahead. That's the kind of approach that will work. Cutting taxes on the wealthy, we've tried that. It has not worked the way
this is what I don't buy.
It has been.
Again,
I want to pursue
the government does not have a responsibility in providing you with a job. That's not what the government's there for. It's there to create a scenario in which other people can create jobs for you to have.
Mm-hmm. And the way you do that, you don't do that by taxing them more, you know?
No, you don't. So that's why I buy. That's why I'm in favor of things like. I know this is going to get me some. People aren't going to like this. That's why I'm in favor of like trickle down economics. I think that it worked. It worked because after Ronald Reagan leaves, we end up eventually in the Clinton era. It just takes time for all of that stuff to happen. People think that a policy that's enacted will have an immediate effect, but that isn't reasonable at all. A policy that's enacted is going to take years and years and years to actually come to fruition and for you to get results out of it. Think about like what you do in the church. You make one change. Do you expect that it's going to have a drastic impact overnight? I don't. I expect it to take years for it to have any noticeable impact on what's going on.
I think Northeast is a perfect example. We made changes, almost 5-6 years ago, and we are just now seeing the fruits. That's 5 years later.
Yeah.
And I would say that that's even kind of quick.
Yes, it is. But like for a country, it's gonna be a long time. We're talking what we do now will be affected in the next 20-25 years. We'll see the fruit of what's happening now.
Yeah. So, like, we don't know what the whole Obamacare thing. We don't know what that's gonna do, and we've already had it for years.
The what?
We don't know how. The Obamacare thing, we don't know how that's going to play out. We can't even decide whether or not we're going to keep it. Leia talks about this all the time with the constant shifts in standards in schools.
Mm-hmm.
She got her master's degree in reading, but she did it under the Sunshine State standards. And then they switched to Common Core down there. And when they switched to Common Core, all of the stuff that she learned in the Sunshine State standards that she got her master's degree in, all that stuff's out the window.
We are growing. Our last report came out.
Isn't that crazy?
Right
but they never gave the Sunshine State standards a chance to be successful, and now they're going to dump Common Core, and they haven't given it a chance to be successful. You got to go through an entire generation of students before you'll know whether or not it's effective or not.
Wow.
So they cycle through way too quick because there's too much money involved in it.
And the government's involved in it.
I know it.
When the government's involved in it.
We're not making things anymore.
Doesn't help.
Relatively speaking.
My boy Jeb didn't do that great with all the education stuff down there in Florida. I like the guy, but I'm not crazy about the way his educational policies. Not the best.
Oh, what was he saying now?
When they see what's happened. I passed factories that were thriving 20, 25 years ago, and because of the bill that her husband signed and she blessed 100%, It is just horrible what's happened to these people in these communities. Now, she can say that her husband did well, but boy, did they suffer as
Well, it's because it's her
because
husband.
It didn't really kick in very much.
She has
but
to.
It kicked in
If
after
not,
they left.
let's
Boy,
be
did they
supportive.
suffer.
Yeah.
That was one
Go
of
with
the
it.
worst things that's ever been signed by our country. Now she wants to sign Trans-Pacific Partnership, and she wants
Right.
it. She lied when she said
She
didn't
keeps
call it
doing
the
that.
gold
She
standard
keeps
in one of the
doing that
debates. She
stupid
totally lied.
smile. I
She
don't
did
know
call
what
it
it
the gold
is.
standard, and they actually
But she
fact-checked,
just
and they
seems
said
so
I was
smug
right.
to me.
That was so
I want to give you
Is
a
it
chance
just me?
to briefly speak to that, but I want to...
What are you talking about, Martin? What smile?
Is that a joke?
Well,
Is what you're saying a
Yes.
joke?
Let me
Oh,
say number
oh.
one. To our markets.
If I were a
have
businessman
fought against that
and
as a
I was
senator,
being
stood up against it as
overly
Secretary of State.
taxed,
Donald
as
has
like my
bought
corporation
Chinese
was being
steel and
taxed
aluminum.
heavily,
In fact, the Trump
and I could
hotel right
relocate
here
it
in
to
Las
another
Vegas was
country
made with Chinese
where I would be
steel.
taxed
So he
less,
goes around
I would
with
do it.
crocodile tears about how
That's
terrible
not
it is,
rocket
but
science.
he has given
Can we
jobs
just say
to
this?
Chinese steel
Yeah.
workers,
He's created a
not
lot of
American
jobs
steel
down in
workers.
Mexico.
That's the kind of
He's
work
creating all
that
sorts of
is
Mexican
just
jobs.
not
He's
going
creating
to
all
work.
sorts of
We're
Mexican
going to pull
jobs.
the
He could
country together.
he
We're
could
gonna
very
have
easily
trade
start
agreements
creating
that
them
we
here.
enforce. That's
If
why
he
I'm going
creates
to
the
have
jobs
a
in
trade
Mexico,
prosecutor for
then
the
we
first
won't have the
time in
problem with
history.
illegal
And we're
immigration
going to
because they'll all go to
enforce
Mexico
those
because that's where the
agreements.
jobs
And
are.
we're going
I might
to
go to
look for
Mexico if there's some
businesses,
jobs down
to
there.
help
What?
us by buying
What do you think?
American products.
You want to know the
Yes,
great
I'll
thing
sit
about
with
our
her.
job?
She's
Is that
working on
people
this
need
for
it
4
anywhere
years.
because all y'all need Jesus.